What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and also welcome back to my 2021 Halloween special. This is episode 2 of said special, and today I'm going to be talking about Insidious, directed by James Wan, and starring Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne. But also, just before I get into it, I want to say you may notice something new about my background. If you watched episode 1 of this Halloween special, you will have noticed that I definitely made some changes specifically for Halloween and the Halloween season and that time of year, but I also now have this wonderful blanket behind me, which my dad got this for me. Thank you so much, Dad. That really means a lot, and I love this blanket. It is so awesome. I absolutely love it. This is Xavier's horror movie watching blanket, and then literally every horror icon ever. It's genius. Genius. I love it. So that blanket will also now be in the background of these videos. So Insidious tells the story of a mother and father whose son falls into a coma. Doctors say they can't explain it, and to the parents' horror, they begin to realize that their son is trapped in a dark and demonic dimension inhabited by hostile spirits, threatening to enter the real world. The first time I watched Insidious, I was 7 years old, and it was Halloween Eve, and we were all carving pumpkins. I was living with my dad and my older brother at the time, and my dad is like a big fan of the first Insidious film, and so that night we were carving pumpkins, and I just remember sitting there just frozen. I just stopped carving my pumpkin. The knife was just sitting inside the pumpkin, and I was literally just so sucked into this film. And by the time it got to the dinner table scene, where the thing shows up behind Patrick Wilson and the mother is describing that dream she had, I just told him to stop. Like, I didn't want to watch anymore. It was really scary, and it was really scaring me. And I actually didn't watch the full film until like 4 or 5 years later. But since then, it has become one of my favorite horror films. This is one of those horror films that is just brilliant at simply building tension. Who would have thought that well-built tension makes a great horror film? It's not like that's obvious. Blumhouse has made good horror movies, but they also made Truth or Dare, Like, there's a line. There is some extremely frightening imagery throughout. There are images in this movie that are just forever burned into my skull. The one image in particular is this image from the part where the mother is recounting her dream. That is the moment in the movie back in when I watched it for that first time. That's the point in the movie where I just told him to shut it off because I was just getting really, really scared. Even though I was loving the movie, back then I didn't have as much understanding as I do now, so it was just really scary to me and I wanted to stop watching it. But this image is the image that was burned into my mind, and it's still burned into my mind. I'm not exaggerating. I think about that image at least 4 nights a week when I'm trying to fall asleep. There's a lot of very slow, creeping camera work that just really sucks you into the film. There's many shots that may seem still, but there's actually a very slow, creeping zoom to them. Slow Dutch angle zooms that just really add to the thickness of the tension. The tension in this movie is so thick you could cut it with a knife, I swear. Also, all the scares in the movie are genuine. Never once is there a false scare where, like, it's making you think something scary is about to happen, and then it just turns out to be, like, the main character's friend just touching them on the shoulder to get their attention, and there's, like, a big, loud, obnoxious jump scare noise. Nothing stupid like that. I hate it. I hate that in horror movies. False jump scares, I hate them. I hate them so much. Are you listening, Blumhouse? Every time there's a scare in this movie, it is completely genuine. Funny story for you, I actually had to do a presentation in my freshman theater class. I'm a junior now. In freshman theater class, I had to do a presentation called Pass Your Passion. And obviously I was going to do film, but I couldn't do a presentation just about all of film. I had to scale it down. So I decided to do a presentation on suspense and tension in film because I was really getting into that at the time. And I showed a bunch of scenes from a bunch of different movies, not just horror movies, but from a bunch of different movies that I felt were great examples of how to build really good tension. And I included the dinner table scene in Insidious where the mother is recounting her dream, as I've referenced many times already in this video. Guys, when this moment happened,
it was standing there in the corner. I asked it, "Who are you?" And it said it was a visitor. I said, "What do you want?" It said Dalton. I can still hear that voice.
What?
The entire class leaped out of their seats and screamed. The lights were off. I had like complete control of the classroom. So I turned off the lights, played that scene, and I just stood there in the back corner just in quiet anticipation, just waiting for the reaction. When that happened, the moment that I just showed you, everyone leaped out of their seats and screamed. That was very, very satisfying to me. And it also showed me, because in theater classes, if you are a theater kid right now, or you were a theater kid in school, you know that theater club and drama club and then theater class, they are made up of many different types of personalities, many different types of people. It's very unique, and that's why I love it. The fact that all of these people were affected the same way by that scene proved to me that it is a genuinely great scare, because it scared all these different types of people who have many different types of interpretations and opinions on like what is scary and what isn't. Also, practical effects. Oh my goodness, practical effects. They are so well utilized in this film. There are hardly any VFX shots. I think there's only like 1 or 2. Everything else is like prosthetics and makeup and dolls and, set design and all that stuff and lighting. It is so well done. It also boasts fantastic performances. Everyone in this film is doing a great job, and it does help ground some of the more over-the-top aspects of the movie, particularly in the third act when things start getting really crazy. These actors were able to keep it on the ground, and that is to take something that is getting super over-the-top and could potentially be kind of funny because of how over-the-top and ridiculous it's getting, and then, being able to ground it and not make it feel that way just through your performance. That's exactly what these actors are doing. Patrick Wilson and Rose Byrne are some of the best actors in modern day horror. Everything about this film is just so creepy and eerie. It just has such a great tone for a horror film, and the score, oh my god. The score for this movie is so chilling. One of my favorite tracks is It Said It Was a Visitor. This is one of those few horror films that genuinely frightens me. I've seen a lot of horror movies, okay? And there's a lot of horror movies that I love, but very few of them genuinely, disturb me, because a lot of them are just scary in, a really fun, thrilling type way. This movie, it's fun and it's thrilling, but it also is able to actually get under my skin and give me goosebumps, gives me the chills down the spine. It genuinely scares me. This is a fantastic horror film. Let's grade this thing. I'm going to give Insidious a very well-deserved A. So guys, Insidious, have you seen it? What do you think about it? Let me know down in the comments. And also, what are some of your favorite horror films to watch this time of year? And also, what's your favorite James Wan film? I may or may not be covering another James Wan film in this series of Halloween special episodes. Take your guesses down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, guys. It really does mean a lot. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, keep writing, keep shooting, and keep editing.